I think I want to talk about Lana Del Rey first.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Oddly, I would say I have probably the most to say about her album. So let's get to it, man. I guess we can start here with before we get to the album cover, because we always like to get to the album cover. But one thing before we do the album cover, because I know I got some shit to say about that. Don't laugh. What did you think about Norman fucking Rockwell? Because we reviewed that on this podcast, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what we said about it specifically, but I feel like we both liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, man. It's been a roller coaster ride, my opinions on Lana Del Rey over the years. I don't like her. I don't like her as like a person at all.
Yeah, we can get that out of the way. We don't.
Let me preface this by saying every time that I listen to a Lana Del Rey album, I'm going into it thinking, man, I don't like you.
She's problematic.
Yeah.
She's problematic. But some problematic people are pretty talented.
That's very true. Norman Rockwell, that album is really good. I mean, like, I don't think I loved it immediately. Like, I don't think I loved it immediately. I still don't love it, but I do, like, feel like it's grown on me even more so in the last, like, whatever, 2 years.
Right.
But I think it was, like, the minimalism of it was, like, kind of at first a barrier, but now something that I like in it a lot. Like, I think it was kind of like, at first I was like, man, this is kind of boring. I don't know if I can get through this whole thing. But now when I listen to that kind of music, specifically Lana, I feel like she has a good enough voice to kind of carry it. So yeah, that album's really good. I know, like, there's some people who absolutely love it. Like, I know Jared is like
pretty big.
Jared Morgan Vinyl is a big old fan of the last Lana album.
He said he really liked this one too.
I know, yeah, and I feel like, yeah, if you like the last one, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't like this one, because it's very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say even more stripped down than the last one. I think there's even less, like, kind of muddying up in this one.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it goes for, just in general, a little bit more of a classic feel, I would say. Norman fucking Rockwell. And I mean, you can just compare the album covers too, besides what's actually in them. Norman fucking Rockwell seems a little bit more like colorful, but like you said, kind of dry, deadpan, you know, how she likes to do. And this one seems like it's going for, like, all in all a pretty classic feel. And Norman fucking Rockwell has the cover of the Sha-blam song, and and so I would say there's a stylistic divide between the two, but I would say I agree with you in that if you like Norman fucking Rockwell, then I don't really see why you wouldn't like this one, so long as, like, you're, I don't know, into the slightly different style. It's not like crazy different.
Yeah, because I mean, I've come from, like, the era of Lana Del Rey, like the Paradise era. Like, that's when I started listening to her, which is, like, feels like a different artist. Like, even though I don't think she's ever been, like, that much, like, have, like, a penchant for, like, flair and, like, doing something really over the top or anything like that. It's like even just the arrangements of a song on Paradise versus this newest one is, like, miles apart from each other. Like, there's almost no, like, backing instrumentals on this album, but I think Paradise, that was almost what I liked the most about it. Like, I didn't even really care about her voice all that much. Like, I just thought that the string arrangements on Paradise, the, like, kind of like drum fills you got every now and then, I thought those were, like, really like cinematic almost. Right. This is, like, cinematic in a completely different way. This is like a really, like, big bummer movie. Like,
yeah, it is. It is. It's a pretty melancholic whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I like this album in terms of its content too. I think that's maybe the last part of things that I really want to soak up. I've heard this 3 times since yesterday, and I'm hoping that in my next 3 listens, I can really, really listen and hone in on the lyrics, because I do feel like she did a pretty good job with them, and they do reflect other songs too. And I feel like there is some connecting of ideas through a couple songs that I want to think about more. But okay, so again, before we get to the album cover, for me, my perspective on Lana Del Rey from where you're talking about, back when she came into things in around like 2012 or so, that, yeah, I always kind of passed her off as not being that interesting. I agree with you that instrumentally some of her songs did interest me, and like her kind of standoffish, really dead inside kind of personality is something, but to me it seemed kind of like there wasn't that much more to it, or it was repetitive,
Right.
or whatever. I feel like a lot of people have that kind of knock on her music anyways as it is, so I feel like I'm just partial to how most people who didn't really fuck with her would probably feel about her. Just didn't seem that interesting from the get-go. Same reason I never really got into The Weeknd, or I was almost like anti-Weeknd for a long time. Was like, there's just something about your personality in songs along with your singing talent that seems limited. And the thing that I've seen with The Weeknd that I'm also seeing with Lana Del Rey in Norman Fucking Rockwell and in this album is really stepping up the songwriting, really stepping up the aura you project, and the attention you kind of soak up with your own personality, your own words, and your singing. Whether that's getting better at singing or learning how to, use your voice with these songs in a way that just makes it sound better, more natural, or whatever. And so I would say, starting with Norman Fucking Rockwell, that was something that kind of struck me all of a sudden. And I haven't gone back and listened to a bunch of her previous music, so I haven't quite compared it in that way. But now, having listened to this album, I feel even better about kind of what I'm hearing on this in terms of her personality. And I'm not saying really her personality, like we kind of already covered. We don't really fuck with Lana Del Rey, but her artistic personality and her the way she projects herself onto these songs and writes some of these songs, I find really interesting. I find pretty captivating. Each of the few listens that I had got a little better. And yeah, so before I guess we talk about more music, we could finally talk about this album cover, which, you know what, I guess I don't have a ton to say on. It just creeps me the fuck out. It's a creepy picture. You know what, I even think that it's like a cool album cover. I actually really like the album cover. It's just because it's her, and it's just I just don't appreciate like a dozen white women staring at me in black and white. Like from the and I mean, it's like, and they're at a country club.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like I don't know.
All of these things just kind of add up to like a weird like Get Out kind of, feeling
like
image.
Gingham tablecloths, country clubs, rich white women.
Exactly.
Like frilly dresses and like.
Yeah, look, they look affluent.
Right.
That's another strike.
And then I don't like that. I mean, maybe I'm misseeing this. It's really small on my screen. But is there like one woman of color just in the middle of all this?
Oh, she's just like shadowy and tan.
Yeah.
No, that's a white woman. I looked at her.
Okay.
I really try to like hone in on her and discern.
I thought, because that would be even weirder.
They just have one black person there in the back of the photo.
In the middle. Yeah, in the middle. Yeah. No, I think you said in the group chat, it just like gives you like Get Out vibes, which 100% agree with.
Yeah, it gives you very Get Out vibes. And if that was the only black person there, if that was like a person of color right there, then each one of these other white women has a black person inside of them.
Yeah.
They stole their soul. Man. That's what happened. So,
I will say something I do love about the album cover is I've been like really noticing, I think it's because of some of the photo stuff I've been doing, like on signage and stuff. I've been really into like good font and like good text.
Man, that font is amazing.
This shit's hitting.
Yes, and it hits like right on whatever weird concept she's going for. No, it hits. It hits.
Yeah.
I really like it. I like that, so it's Chemtrails over the country club, and I feel like you got some kind of country twangy moments in Norman Rockwell, but I think this album hones in on them a little bit more, specializes in them just a little bit better. And so, that's something that I like. I feel like what we're listening to right now, Breaking Up Slowly, is one of those moments. The track list in general, I guess I wanted to say this too. The track list for me kind of went like this. The first 5 songs I thought were really good. I was in the first listen, I was kind of worried that I just really liked the first 2 songs or first 2 or 3 songs, and nothing really like got better than that going forward. But in the second and third listen, I didn't have that issue. I realized that really it's those first 5 songs that I think are almost all really, really good. The next 2 songs, so that's White Dress, Chemtrails, Tulsa, Jesus Freak, Let Me Love You Like a Woman, Wild at Heart. I liked all of those. Dark But Just a Game and Not All Who Wander Are Lost are the 2 that are right after that I actually don't like as much. I don't know if I don't like them.
I'm the other way.
Okay, so you really like those
2
tracks.
a lot.
Okay, because
I like those 2 a lot.
Wait, real quick. So then the 2 after that are my 2 favorites. Yosemite and what we're listening to now, Breaking Up Slowly, are probably my 2 favorite songs. Dance Till We Die is okay to me, and then For Free with Zella Day and Way Us Blood is also pretty great. So I like 8 out of these 11 tracks I think are really, really good.
I was almost exactly the opposite. The first 4 or 5 songs, not that I didn't like them, I was just not sure. Like, it was starting to become a little bit of a struggle for me to like want to listen to the whole thing, because I was like, it's not that long. Actually, it's nice because it's a lot shorter than Norman fucking Rockwell. It's only like only 45 minutes. I think Norman Rockwell's over an hour.
Norman Rockwell is it's 67 minutes and 14 songs.
Yeah. So the first 5 songs I was a little bit worried. I was like, I think actually no, the first 3 songs, because I think Let Me Love You Like a Woman was the first one. I was like, oh, this is really good. I like this one a lot. But I was like doing the dishes. I was like, oh, like this is kind of like just a bummer to do the dishes too. Like, I'm not sure if I'm really into this right now. But then Dark But Just a Game was the first song that I was really into. That was and then all of that basically,
like, since then.
Yeah, all the way from Dark But Just a Game down, I really liked. Like, Yosemite is great. That's probably one of my favorites. But I don't know. I think yeah, because I like Tulsa Jesus Freak. God, the names of these songs are really dumb though. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm in the same boat. I think probably like 7 or 8 out of 11 of these songs I like a lot, and the other 3 or 4 I'm not like don't like at all. I just like, it was kind of a struggle to begin with. The first song, I right off the bat was like, oh man, I don't know. Like,
oh, see, the first song caught me. The first song caught me pretty good, and I liked that I was hearing some, like nice falsetto singing from her, and I thought it was just a really pretty track. And then same with Chemtrails Over the Country Club. Like, I thought, man, she's smoking the shit out of this. Like, this shit is pretty as hell. I think it sounds
what it is?
Super alluring. Yeah, go ahead.
That first song, I think I just kind of like listened to a snippet again really quick. I had this thought while I was doing the dishes. It sounds like a more like a less exciting FKA Twigs to me. That's why
I don't
wasn't
really
sure
listen
if
to
I loved it
FKA
right away.
Twigs, so I wouldn't have caught that.
I mean,
I
it's
do,
just
but
like,
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, FKA Twigs is just like ethereal falsetto. Like, it's just like, but I think she's just she's like the exact opposite of Lana Del Rey, where she is so interesting that I want to listen to her, even though I don't know if I love her music.
Right.
Lana Del Rey is the exact opposite, where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I like your music, but you're the most boring and pretentious person I could think of.